Hello, folks, and I'm Dan Hollifield, host of Last Man Standing. We got a lot of folks still over at Stupid O'Clock, so I'm running solo at the moment, which really doesn't mean an awful lot because I can entertain myself just as well as I can entertain a lot of y'all. But here we are, part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Excuse me. It shouldn't be swallowing that, breathing that drink. Let me just go to a Rising Tide commercial that I have not finished yet because I haven't done the voiceover. But this is a pretty good tune, and I wrote it, and we'll be giving other folks time to pop in if they want to. Otherwise, this will be a real short program because I'll just say, yeah, well, I'll do my best. Now, this is the schedule for the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. As you can see, there's something on every night of the week. Some nights are busy, some nights are not quite so busy. But you have something for everybody, basically, no matter what your interest is. There's a lot of shows pretty much about collecting comics or creating comics. There are shows about being creative and doing your own stuff. There are shows about unsolved mysteries and all kinds of things in that area. There are shows about rocket science and the current launches of everything that is going on in the brand new modern day space age. There is the historical fencing duel, where Dick Tockert will teach you how to gently harm one another with padded swords and axes and things, and get you to buy his books about how to use the real thing in combat. There are also shows about mixology, where we have a wonderful couple teaching the history of classic cocktails and different drinks you could order in bars and how to make them yourself, and critiquing what they actually taste like going by those classic recipes. And what else have we got here? Oh, we got Brian K. Morris almost every day of the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Never Mind the Furthermore, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on. I've got to do a voiceover for that pretty much covers all the basics. I've got one scripted out, but I haven't bothered to sit down and record it yet because there's always so much going on in the house that it's really difficult uh, to not only to do the recording, but to sit down and rehearse for the recording, which is going to take a little bit of time. I've got to narrow everything down to a 2 minute voiceover, and then add it into the recording of the schedule card and the music. So I really let me see here. Somebody has made a comment up here because I'm not on the comments because I was triggering videos. Let me look and see. Ace Bonnie, yes. There are shows about nothing. Well, you're here, aren't you? This is about nothing but continuing late night conversations that were started in Stupid O'Clock or a generator of our own. So if you've got something you want to talk about, go ahead and let me know, and you and I can sit here, whether or not you're on the screen with me or not. I can read your text, and we will have a conversation. You can text, and I will talk back, or anything, any way things work out. Um, now, here we go. Let's see. What is current and interesting that doesn't upset people too much? Because my wife has been watching current events and she's getting highly upset over some of the things that have been happening, not only uh, to people, but to uh, someone's beloved pets and whatnot that are trapped in the same situation as the people. And sorry for the vague broadcasting, but if you've been paying attention to current events, then you know exactly what situation it is that I'm talking about, and you can fill in the blanks, and we don't have to do any potential copyright strikes about anything. So, oh yeah, well, that's what it's for. We just shoot the breeze, um, and sometimes we miss. The breeze comes back around and goes, but it's like being at a convention. There are conversations that you walk up and go, I know something about that. Let me jump in here. And there are conversations you walk up to and go, I know something about that. Let me walk away before I hurt somebody's feelings because I know more about it than they do. And both situations are equally valid. Let me tell you now. Link not working. Link not working. Well, I don't know. I gave him the pickaxe and showed him the coal mine. I don't know what his problem is. Let me see here. Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. Did I? Oh, I might have accidentally copied the link for next week's show or the weekend show rather than the one that is actually going on now. So, uh, Josh, Lord, Josh. All right, here we go. Let me switch over to Messenger here and this one right here and see if that works. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Da, 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 da. Yes, I probably did. I probably did. It looks like I sent people Saturday night's link rather than tonight's. So here we go. Hey, Josh.
Ah.
It looks like I clicked on the wrong one and I sent everybody Saturday night's links rather than tonight's. So uh, give me a minute and I've got to
Resend.
I've got to resend one to Sean Sullivan. You remember him from last week?
Oh yeah.
Yep. So let me see here. Um, yep. Let me send an explanation. He's probably still at work right this minute.
Yeah, I was sitting backstage. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, well, you were just waiting for Saturday. That's what it was. Hey, I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't even play one on TV.
uh,
And Ace, please do keep throwing in comments. If you're not willing to come on screen, then you can participate through text. It's absolutely fine. We don't mind at all, and we can cope with that because I'm
what's
old
go-
school. I remember chat before there was ever video.
what's going on, Ace?
Oh dear. Um, oh, and that means that I put the wrong one for John too. So let me double do this one, Lord. Boy, when I screw up, I really do a good job of it. La di da, la di da da. Oh, well, I'm probably lucky this beer is about twice the size of the last one that I drank. Ah, now this is
What you drinking tonight?
I had the oatmeal stout during stupid o'clock, and now this is just the standard Guinness extra stout, but it's
I,
like a half a gallon. I don't know exactly how much is in it, but it's pretty much like trying to pour gas in the diesel fuel in the tractor. You got a 5 gallon can, and so
need to. I don't know the mailing options on alcohol from Alabama to Georgia, but
I believe you can mail order stuff, but I don't believe it's legal for somebody to just send stuff from one person to another.
okay.
I'm not sure. I believe the ATF would probably get interested real quick
Yeah.
unless you decided to incorporate and post a catalog online. But no, this is uh, stupid o'clock and last man standing is the only 2 nights a week that I indulge in this rather than the natural light, which is my normal state of affairs.
Hopefully one night you can or one evening or day you can come over here and hit up the few breweries we have.
Well, we'll have to talk. We'll have to figure that one out. Yeah. So far, it's been easier for me to meet people at a convention than it would be to actually go visit, even though the mileage from house to house is pretty much the same. Um, and believe me, after the last 2 years of sitting in this chair doing nothing but drink beer, and then the desk job that I've got at work doesn't help anymore because I used to be doing physical labor all the time, so I didn't gain weight. But the last 2 years, I have put on at least 20 extra pounds, and I'd look like I swallowed a watermelon without cutting it first.
Believe
So,
believe it or not, I've lost about 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
well, I'm definitely jealous. Um, I'm going to
So,
have to either go back to eating a cracker and a peanut once a week, or I don't know what. Actually, not sit in a chair for a while. I don't know which is worse.
But that shit ass medicine they got me on and shit ass
Oh,
diet.
yeah, I remember when I believe it's the Russian flu back in the 70s. I had that. Um, couldn't go to college. Let's see, it was before I dropped out of college and got the factory job. Well, the present factory job. I had a part-time job in a different factory, but let's see, I didn't eat anything but soda crackers. Didn't drink anything but water for 2 weeks, and I lost about 50 pounds, laying on the couch shivering because I had this flu. Um, and there was, and the doctors all said just take aspirin, and 4 hours later take Tylenol, and 4 hours later take some more aspirin. There's nothing there ain't no shot. We can't give you anything. So, hey, John,
You finally made it?
I am muted you twice, John. All right, you're gonna have to unmute yourself. StreamYard told me you have to do it.
Don't make me be a Biden's interpreter
What are you gonna do? Pull out and leave me hanging? Okay.
uh,
No, they're talking
I'm
about
still not going to touch that line.
yeah, don't.
Joe and them are talking about SpaceX stuff. So that's talking about all the rockets and launch pads.
Yeah, well, I used to hang out some really cool pads, but nobody ever really got launched from them except rude folks. Oops. Yeah. Okay. That was a reply from Mr. Sullivan, who I had messaged and said, "Hey, I gave you the wrong link. I gave you Saturday night's link instead of Thursday nights." Hey, Chris, how you doing?
What's up, Chris?
Now, let's see. Oh, we have 5 people watching us do nothing. So, hey, we're ahead of the game.
Yeah, hey, John, I was sitting backstage for 10 minutes. I was like, something's wrong.
Hey,
Yep,
Chris.
it was Josh that finally clued me in that I'd sent him Saturday night link instead of the Thursday night link. So, duh. My bad. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Damn. Okay, I got that from a Hawkwind album. I do know what it means, though. I'm not Catholic, and I don't speak Italian or Latin, but
That's that Guinness getting into you.
I promise you, Guinness does not make me speak foreign languages. That shit might.
Yeah.
This is 5 bean salad.
Oh, okay. I thought for a minute there it was. I thought it was several different kinds of peppers, and I'm going.
No,
Yeah,
not yet.
I eat a couple of bites of that. I'll be talking in all kinds of foreign languages.
This one has kidney beans, black beans, green beans, wax beans, and garbanzo beans for chicken. It's also got celery, green peppers, onions, and it's a sweet pickle. So it's supposed to be a cold summer salad, but it's also a pretty good survival food because it's darn near pure protein, and it's pickled, so it won't go bad.
It will last forever.
It will last pretty much forever.
That's yeah. That sounds, man, you making me hungry now.
No,
I'm hungry all the time.
the main result for me was I've got to try and figure out where I can order a 3-gallon crock, the ceramic, like my grandmother and my great aunt used to make chow chow in, and fill that sucker up with basically chopped cabbage and a few peppers and some onions and whatnot, and let it sit for about 6 months and pickle on up and
Some chow chow.
oh Lord, you give me a couple of spoonfuls of that on top of some pinto beans and a couple of slabs of cornbread, and I am a happy camper right there.
You get it, put it on anything.
Oh, I know. It's sort of like Appalachian salsa.
I have the unique quality of I'm not a picky eater. So I can go anywhere and find something I want to eat. I could go to Elmo's House of Squid and find something I'll eat. So
They told you to leave the waitresses alone.
Yeah, we have what's it called? The House of Oysters or something like that. My
Oh,
wife my wife hates seafood for some reason.
mine doesn't. But then she's always cooking me fish and chips, which is basically just breaded cod or I forget the other one that's barely acceptable besides cod, and then really thick slice potatoes. John, you muted yourself again. I can't unmute you when you unmuted yourself.
sorry, Dan, I'm talking on 2 different shows at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't want their show to impact your show because I'm not using a headset or microphone. So if I turn on both shows at the same time,
Well, anytime you mute your microphone, you're on your own. Good night.
Jazz hands.
Yep. Yes, crosstalk is a bad thing, but it's amazing that, yes, I can actually carry on a conversation with somebody that's in a different channel at the same time. But then I was on MIRC back in the mid 90s, so I got used to typing on 4 different chat servers in 16 different channels at the same time on a little bitty teeny tiny monitor. So you can pretty much imagine what I was going through flipping from channel to channel and trying to be the same smartass that I am right now back in the day. Of course, I was not quite as eloquent a smartass as I am now. Everything pretty much has to come of age and ripen and be ready to decant, as a fine wine would be. So, let's see, where were we? Oh, thank you, Chris. That's yeah. Appalachian salsa. Yes. Okay, here's another one for you, Chris. Mashed potatoes is just Irish guacamole.
Yes. Gotta have the right gravy though.
Oh yeah. Oh, depends on what was the in thing for your family at the time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember red eye gravy?
I was just about to say it.
That was one of my favorites, and that's some of the deadliest stuff you could ever have. I mean, you talk about white gravy, you talk about brown gravy, you get red eye. That is nothing but grease and crumbs of bacon and ham, and it will it'll harden your arteries faster than super glue, and you would love every minute of it, I swear. Oh, I used to have scrambled eggs and homemade biscuits and
red eye gravy
and red eye gravy with ham and bacon and Lord only knows what else. A couple of slices of tomato, a slice of onion for breakfast now, and
that's probably why I got high cholesterol now.
I don't have cholesterol because my arteries learned how to teleport. They just move stuff around without having to go in between. Beam me a biscuit, Scotty.
Yeah. I
Lord.
actually had a biscuit this morning. So biscuit and eggs.
My wife does she does something that is about the size of a muffin or a cupcake, and it is basically a slice, a very thin slice of bread, down in the muffin pan, and there is scrambled eggs and usually bacon, but she has been using Black Forest ham this week. A few diced up, a little sprinkling of diced onion, um, lots of cheddar cheese on top of the eggs, and puts it in the oven and bakes it as if it were a muffin or something, and pulls it out, sticks it in my breakfast, and I'll get to work and try and not ruin it by having to microwave it to heat it back up. You got to be really delicate with this. I mean, you got to switch it to low power and not very many seconds at a time to get it to not make the meat into sheet steel and absolutely ruin the toast too. But this morning, she put one of those in there. She put 2 waffles in there. She put me some hash browns and 2 sausage links. And I'm going, honey, this is 2 different breakfasts mixed together. And I went ahead and I ate the whole thing. And then my lunch was leftover beef tips, sauteed mushrooms and onions, and a really covered in smothered baked potato left over from Texas Roadhouse when we went Tuesday night for my mama's birthday celebration. Her birthday was a week ago Thursday today, and we couldn't. She had stuff she was going to do, so we couldn't take her out Thursday night, but went over there Friday afternoon after work, and she had cooked her special beef stew, which I grew up on. And Lord, I can't even reproduce it. It is so good, and it's just. I had a wonderful time. I filled my bowl up a little bit too deeply, but I managed to finish it all off. She made her own made homemade cornbread right there while we were waiting on everything else. And I mean, there ain't nothing better than Mama's cooking.
Oh no!
You grew up on it, Mama, Granny, Aunt, doesn't matter. Whichever one it was you grew up on the most, that's the standard you set everything else. There's no restaurants that can match this, and it's all so simple. But then
You can't reproduce it like you said.
well, you get grown up and you go, I need to do this because the mama's too far away for me to go visit. I got to do it myself. Let me see what I can do. You come up with something close. Ain't the same thing, but if you're lucky, it's really, really, really close. Now I can't bake my own cornbread. I wish I could. If I could bake cornbread, I believe my first two wives would not have happened.
Let's see, that's one thing I can't do.
Well, I can't do it.
Homemade cornbread, I cannot do.
I know what she does. I just can't successfully reproduce it. I know every step of the process, but I just can't do it. I've tried. Now, my wife has learned how to do it. Mama gave her the recipe, so it's just one of those things where if I've been a really good boy, I get some cornbread, you know.
Now,
oh, Lord.
Now my grandma's chili, I've got it. It's might be just a little bit more heat. But it's right there on the point. But
this is one place where I have actually surpassed the family in doing my own. And doing my own recipes. Nowadays, I do all my chili in a crock pot. I used to do it in a great big stew pot, but nowadays I do it in a crock pot because that way I don't make the mistake of making 15 gallons of chili. You know, I'll be right back. The restroom is calling.
Yeah, we're over here on the other channel. We're talking spacesuits.
For which launch?
Well, they're talking about how nobody's built a spacesuit for landing on the moon since the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
And then we haven't built anything like an EVA suit since the 90s, which, it's 30 years ago. So everybody wonders why we're spending billions of dollars to build spacesuits.
Send me a link to that. Cause hell, Dan ain't gonna be up long.
But
I don't believe.
So I got to go up to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg for vacation. I got to figure out what the heck I want to do up there. Other than buffalo jerky and hot sauce and Black Rifle coffee. That's all I think I want to do while I'm up there.
I was about to say that's the only thing I could think of.
The hard part is mom's foster kid is 3 years old. It's hard to find something for a 3-year-old to do.
I was about to say the aquarium's about.
That's about it. He can't do the Ripley's and stuff like that. Yeah, it's he can't do the laser tag, can't do the go-karts. And the place we're staying at is a water park basically, and he can't do most of the stuff at the water park because he's too small.
I mean, he can do some stuff, but.
Right. And I don't know how well he does in water. I'm not that familiar with the kid, but. I would like to go to Paula Dean's restaurant, actually. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Paula Dean, butter and bacon grease. Okay.
We're good. Yeah. Hell, 5 and fudge. I was about to say 10 years ago, butter was bad for you. 5 years ago, margarine was bad
I never
for it. Or
believe any of that
good. I
crap. I mean, no offense,
mean,
margarine is what, half a molecule away from being carpet fiber. So
yeah.
Lithium grease, actually.
hey,
Give me
butter and bacon grease.
Just give me some lard. Just give me some lard.
Oh, you like
No.
Twinkies?
Hey, my grandma cooked with it.
Tallow.
Yep.
Beef tallow. Like, that's what made McDonald's French fries taste like McDonald's French fries. So.
Yep. It also makes good candles.
But
It just put a wick in it.
But yeah, John. I mean, I don't. I can't think of anything else up there.
There we
To
go.
be
Back
honest.
on that survivalist stuff again.
No.
If you have a container of lard or Crisco oil or Crisco, shortening, or bacon drippings or something like that in your fridge, and for some unknown reason civilization comes to a complete halt, you can take a cotton thread or cotton twine and dip it in melted grease and shove it down the middle of that Crisco or that lard or that bacon drippings, and you got an emergency candle.
Yeah, you got your wick.
Trouble is, it will make you hungry.
Well, as they call it in jail, that's a wick. I ain't gonna tell. I mean, yes, I have been in jail, unfortunately, but
I have too, but only because my wife wrote bad checks in my name. They came and got me. She was the one who wrote the checks, but they come and got me.
Twice that's happened to me. So,
well, I would say may she rest in peace, but I wouldn't mean it.
well, we ain't gonna say that.
But then again, let's see, where were we? Let's see, off the survivalist stuff, we were talking about food. And, oh, yeah, a place where you can pan for gemstones. We used to go by that on our way up to the Knoxville area. It is in, I believe, North Carolina, not South Carolina. You got to go a little bit further.
Over Cherokee.
No, it's sideways from there. They've got they do have a chairlift that goes up to the top of the mountain. Used to have cowboy shootouts and everything as play acting there for entertainment for the tourists. Down at the bottom of it, you could pan for garnets and rubies and whatnot. And sometimes you actually walk away with some quite nice, if small, valuable gemstones. I can't remember exactly what they called it. It wasn't Ruby Falls, I'll tell you that. Oh Lord. See, it was before you got to. Oh, I can't remember what town has a speed trap now. Was somewhere in the vicinity of Walhalla, but I believe it was before you got that far in the mountain. I believe you had to go over the mountain to get to Walhalla. So I should know it. I shouldn't. It's up there in the Maggie Valley area. There's lots of skiing in the wintertime, that sort of thing. Let's see. Hot Springs, Junaluska, that area. I think it's just before you get there, but I cannot remember the name of it to save my life. I have been by it 1,001 times. I should be able to remember it, but I certainly can't. I can see the TV commercial for the Wild West show up at the top of the mountain in my head, and you had to take a chairlift to get up there. And I think eventually they wound up installing something that was like a streetcar, but it was a up the mountain sort of chairlift. But you sat in something like a bus and went up rather than in a like a ski lift sort of thing. Wish I could remember it. That's going to bug me until I go to sleep tonight, and I will never remember it tomorrow to look it up.
Hell, I can't remember it either.
Now one thing I've got to do. I've decided that I'm going to do something romantic for my wife. One of her favorite songs is one that involves stand with you on a mountain, bathe with you in the sea. So I've got to take her to the top of the Smoky Mountains there at Cumberland Gap and whereabouts where we used to go through when I was a kid. Then I got to take her to the beach, which she will not enjoy, and I don't have as much fun with it as I used to. And then go through everything else in that song, just to be romantic, and she'll probably tell me I shouldn't spend the money or something.
No, go ahead.
Well, I've got it to throw away. I really do. As long as it's for her, I can work overtime. I don't care. I ain't got that much longer to worry about it, and I'd like to do some nice stuff before I stop worrying about anything whatsoever.
Me and Kimberly's 10 years will be in May, so
it's about time you started planning something to surprise her with.
Yeah, a big trip or something. Hell if I know.
What is it that she's always wanted to do that you've never been able
to? Hell if I know.
Besides hit the lottery.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really and truly, I'd like to go and renew our vows, but
that would be really romantic. Lindsay and I do that every so often. It's like getting married all over again, except you don't have to worry about the best man making some kind of stupid speech and trying to embarrass all of you.
Oh yeah.
You just go up and say, "Hey, just as the feast, here's $20. Just marry us all over again, all right?"
I was about to say we went on our honeymoon in Nashville for a week, and I don't know if she'd want to go back up there or not, but
she'd probably want to go someplace a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Not even if it's in the same area, but just not the same place all over again, unless that was something that she really had her heart set on. You're just going to have to hint around a little bit, and
well, I was about to say that.
And pretend to be stupid and ask her questions.
Well, she likes the mountains, so might have to go sooner before it gets snowy and shit, because it ain't a 4-wheel drive car or all-wheel drive car. So
before the springtime rock slides.
yeah.
I remember all those signs, all those years. Watch out for falling rock. So far, I've been able to avoid being in the middle of one when it fell. But I've seen the aftermath several times. I-40 was closed down for almost 3 months while they cleared up one rock slide here about 10, 15 years ago. That was and that was on my regular route to go back up to Tennessee for a family reunion. So, you block that road, I'm gonna have to go through Chattanooga to get to Knoxville the long way around.
Yeah, you doing a long ass drive.
Yeah, you're talking 8 to 10 hours instead of about 4 and a half.
Well, to be honest, she is like a paranormal freak. She'd like to go like to Salem or somewhere like that.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I think they've got ghost tours in Savannah.
Yeah, I was about to say Savannah. She's been to Savannah.
Oh, okay.
Salem is where she really wants to go.
We'll take her. It's just a matter of saving the money.
Oh, we got that. That ain't no problem on that. So
Yeah.
it's just getting the time and
Yeah, taking time off from work, taking time off from the stuff that's above work, like the storm chasers and whatnot.
well, no, that shit can go to the side. I ain't
Well,
worried about that.
Yeah.
That ain't paying me, so.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean paying, but I mean, it'd be like, Lindsay wants to go back to Philadelphia, like we did for a trip for work for me having 40 years of seniority. They gave us a trip to Philadelphia and took us around to different tourist sites and got to see a play and stuff like that. Got to go to a place that was a tavern that a lot of the founding fathers partied in. And they had their own brands of beer and their own personal recipes, and some of the food was their own personal recipes and things like that. We got there, and the company said, "No, you can't have no alcohol because we're paying for it." And I'm going, "No, you're not paying for it because we can't have it." So anyway, got to see. Got to see a church that see the first 4 presidents of the United States were members of this church, and I think Washington had his own special pew there for the family. Jefferson had his own special pew there for the family, I do believe. Got to see one of the courtrooms where there were trials about British soldiers that had defected to the United States during the Revolutionary War, and they were trying not to have to go home and get hung for being traitors to the cause. And we had lawyers on our side trying to argue that, well, these guys just decided they wanted to go native, and we just happened to be the natives that they happened to go to. Let's see. Got to see the Liberty Bell at a distance. Didn't go inside the building. The line was way too long, and it was way too security conscious for us to have to put up with. I wouldn't even have been able to take my camera in and take pictures. So I stood in the parking lot behind it, behind a glass wall and took pictures of the inside of the building from inside the parking lot. Liberty Hall, where they actually drafted and signed the Declaration of Independence. Yep, it's right there. It's a beautiful little building. It actually is smaller than you would think for how many people you knew had to have been in there at the time. There are all kinds of things like that. It was nice, and she wants to go back. Oh, if you remember Rocky, there's the thing where he's running up and down the courthouse steps there and doing the up on top. I actually ran up those steps and stood on his bronze footsteps.
You didn't fall. You didn't fall out.
Hell no, I didn't fall out. It was 5 years ago. I wasn't anywhere near as fat as I am now.
Shit, I couldn't run up that.
Oh, well, I had to, because I had to go take the picture and then run back down the steps to get on the bus. Otherwise, it'd have left me behind, and I'd have to walk to the hotel. That would have slimmed my waist quite a bit, since it was about 30 miles from the hotel. I don't think I could have made it in one day, but maybe 6 or 8. But no, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. But she wants to go back and do it without the company tour guides. And I'm going, honey, do you have the slightest idea how expensive it would be to get up there without the corporation paying for this stuff, and us to rent a car as well as a hotel room and get all the tickets and everything for all the stuff that we saw as private individuals rather than a multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation? I mean, they get discounts.
It's not even. Hell, I'm echoing on my end. I don't know.
Can't hear it here.
Okay. But
all the rocket geeks over here are talking rocket launches and monetizing YouTube stuff for rocket launch.
Well, if they wind up with some extra money, I could use a couple of dollars.
Hey, they could pay for my trip.
I could make a batch of chili and we could put Joe Dog in orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been meaning to make a batch of chili. So.
We could have a chili cook-off.
Ooh, that would be a convention to remember.
That was my ice maker dropping ice and the dogs barking at the ice maker.
We could that would be a Hallowcon.
It'd probably be the last one, yeah.
You could have a Hallowcon chili cook-off.
Yes. Not only would the hotel have to be fumigated, but Joe Dog would probably lift off into orbit on his own.
They better have some plumbers ready, available.
Asbestos carpet.
But yeah, she wants to go up there, Salem, Mass. So.
Yeah, I know a couple of ladies online. I've never met them before, but they were in one of the I don't want to call it a witch shop, but that's what it is. One of the magic shops up there that's frequented by the tourists. They do a thriving business in crystals and wands and things like that. And well, and apparently they also do perfumes and bath oils and things like that as well. So it's it's not all just woo stuff, but they're pretty neat folks, and the town itself is quite interesting. I've never been there. I've seen photographs and taken virtual tours through some of the stuff.
She went to Savannah with her mom. Stayed in that haunted hotel
Mm-hmm.
that like room 271 or something like that. I can't remember, but she's into all that stuff.
Mm. Well, if you ever take her to England, go on a Jack the Ripper tour in London, and make sure you ask. You look up the tour group, the tour company that has a guy by the name of Philip Hutchinson as a tour guide. He also does a ghost tour of a town called Guildford.
Yeah,
That's
you better. Well, I'm gonna stop you right there. She ain't gonna get on a plane unless she's got about 10 to an X in her. So,
well. Sorry about that, but you know, I'm just going. I know folks that do the world's best ghost tours, and they're both Phillips. So
well, I can provide that, but but go ahead.
no, we went up there and we went to Guildford earlier in the day, and Philip was going to do his ghost tour later that night.
Is that the one that's got the crazy ass um shit uh field or whatever you want to call it?
No, all I saw was the town itself.
Okay.
And it's a pretty neat town. We walked around through the day, and I took photographs of every building that I thought was really interesting, and each and every one of them wound up being part of the ghost tour. I had accidentally, without knowing about it, photographed every ghost site in the town just from walking around during the daytime. Now, oh, we did on a different trip. We did go to no, it was the same trip. It was the same trip. We went to Glastonbury, which is a totally different town, um, and there is what is quite possibly the most haunted tavern in England. There, it has been standing since 1500s or thereabout, 1400s maybe. So it's actually older than the United States as a bar, and it was just one of those things. We walked in there, and some of the more sensitive people were getting headaches and all this. There was a trap door in the floor near the hotel check-in counter that I kept walking around because it was in between the bar and the men's room. Turns out it was the trapdoor to the coal cellar. And during trials there, the judges, when someone was convicted, would have them tossed in the coal cellar. So they're standing there amid lumps of coal about uh, shin deep in ice cold water, waiting on being taken out for whatever sentence was decreed to have been executed. And it wasn't always an execution. Sometimes it was a transportation to the colonies or something like that. And it's like, I walked around that thing going, I don't trust a 700-year-old wooden trap door. So come to find out, yeah, it was supposed to be haunted because of that, and this, that, and the other thing. Um, the whole place reminded me of Helen, Georgia, with all the little shops everywhere. Because you walk around downtown. There are little side streets that didn't exist, or probably did exist, but weren't quite so prominent. You've got all these little shops there selling crystals and magic wands and all this other stuff, because that's the money maker. There is the idea of the occult, not the occult itself, but the idea. And it was a wonderful experience. There's a lot of history there. There are lots of other places we went to. It was fun. It was fun. We went to one little place. I think it was called Wick, and it was just a little village out in the middle of nowhere. And some friends had set it up so that Lindsay and I could renew our wedding vows. And we got there. They had paid all the fees. Rented the little chapel that had probably been standing there twice as long as the U.S. is old. Got there. The priest that was renewing our vows used to be a Druid, but he reformed. And now he's Church of England, which is the church that Lindsay grew up in. Her dad was a curate for Church of England, which is the one that Henry VIII invented so he could get a divorce, because Catholics wouldn't let him do it. And let's see, there was the service was in Church of England. There were quotes from Book of Mormon and the
Pope Pilate, wasn't it?
Pilate? No, that was the one that crucified Jesus back in the Middle East.
No, I'm trying to say.
Pilate was the Roman governor in Jerusalem. He wasn't a priest. He was just a bureaucrat, basically. Oh Lord! And there's lots of other history that I can't remember, even though I've learned loads and loads and loads of it. Oh, and when we were renewing our vows, there was passages from the Koran. There's passages from I believe it might have been the Book of Mormon, and then there's passages from the Bible as filtered through the Church of England. There was incense. We did the hand fasting thing where our wrists were tied together as we were getting bliss. There was incense. There was all kinds of stuff. It was just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was almost totally pagan, except for the stuff that came from the different holy books that they were cribbing from. And I'm going, this is just absolutely beautiful. We videotaped all of it, and unfortunately, I'm not allowed to post the videotape because there were trade secrets in there. So. Well, I mean, it's like if you combine several different religions into one ceremony, then any one of those could get really pissed off at the presence of the others, instead of being pure this or that or the other, and rather than get the priest in trouble, I just agreed. No, I won't ever post the video. He said, you can take still photos out of the video if you want to. Just don't explain them. Don't tell them exactly what's going on. Just go, oh, this is when they tied their hands together and said the blessing, and that sort of thing is all right. But you can't just show the whole video, because You know, not even the Pope, in Rome wants all of a mass to be videotaped and broadcast across the world. So there are trade secrets everywhere. Oh yeah. Yep. It was a blending of all different things put together, and it was quite beautiful. The place was located above a rock quarry that after the company that was quarrying the rocks went out of business, that got turned into a park, and you could walk all the way around it. Of course, they warned us, if you see a hole dug in the ground in the hillside, don't go near it, because that's probably badgers, and they're not
friendly badgers.
they're not friendly, they're not cuddly, so don't upset them. And you can walk all the way around this thing. There's a couple of acres worth of a pond with sheer walls going up, and some of these 500-year-old trees that some of them were actually I was told they were yew trees, which is the wood that Englishmen made their longbows out of, because it's so springy. And you get a straight part of it, and you get to carve it down and stuff like that, and string it, and it makes a pretty badass bow, let me tell you, because British longbowmen were feared by lots of people in Europe. I mean, anything you can drive a 3-foot long arrow through somebody wearing armor at 100 yards is a badass bow. I mean, this is more than 100-pound pull for a longbow, not a compound. And they weren't even laminated. They were just good stuff. And we went to what they call a carvery afterwards, which is like one of those cafeterias where you walk around, you pick the food, and they put it on the plate, and you got this tray you slide around, and it's just it's one of the more ordinary things, except the cooking was by people who had been taught cooking by their grannies and great grannies and great 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 grannies for about 500 years. So that roast beef was to die for, and everything else was too. I mean, you're not talking about fast food here. This is slow cooked. Oh my God, just absolutely wonderful stuff. Beat the hell out of most restaurants that I have ever been in my life. Think of something like Golden Corral or something like that, but make it high class.
Like I said, you making me hungry, man.
Hey, well, I one of the weird things I do when I'm writing a story is, whenever one of the characters gets hungry and they all stop to eat, I just go ahead and describe the meal, and I'm going, oh, somebody's going to get fat reading this. I don't care. I got fat writing it. So, yeah. The only thing that stayed skinny is my wallet.
Yeah, the only other place I'm trying to take her to is
I'm done with the Rocket Geeks, so here I am. So.
Okay.
Tombstone, and
that would be fun.
And maybe to the big redwoods out there in California. Mm-hmm.
Both of those would be way fun. Yeah, John, Chris Walker's wanting us to do a chili cook-off at
I saw
Hallowcon.
that. My thinking about it. My only problem is I got to find some venison, and because of COVID, I haven't been able to find the same people that normally make, that I can get venison from. So I have to find new sources.
I'm
going to Pigeon. I'm going to Pigeon Forge.
I have zero. I have zero right now.
Yep.
Well, I've got a cousin up in Kentucky.
I got a rifle.
She's been really successful with her bow. She's been dropping deer left and right. I have to use a pickup truck where she.
Bam. Okay. Got one. Okay.
It's not. They're not in season right now.
If they run out in front of my car, they in season.
Hey, Josh.
But they're going to be seasoned well too.
That's a legal method of getting
I know.
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
It helps if you're the one that hit them, but you can.
Yeah, we have a roadkill rule.
Yeah,
we have a roadkill rule in Georgia.
We do too. Pick it up, throw it in the back truck.
My mom was driving down to Ace Hardware to pick up some garden soil, potting soil, and mulch and stuff like that. They had a little Chevy S10 pickup truck with one of the police bumpers on the front of it. And she was driving down there. We live right next to a state park. And a deer ran out in front of her. And she nailed it with that police bumper. It didn't do anything to the Chevy, but, knocked that deer off the side of the road, killed it instant. Right. She gets down there at Ace Hardware. She's all shook up and everything. She's like telling all the people at Ace Hardware, yeah, I was driving down here and I hit a deer. And I'm like, they said, where? and somebody jumped in their truck and ran down there. And when she came home with all that potting soil and stuff in the back of her truck, that deer wasn't there no more.
That's right. Now, one of the places that we went to in England was a park outside of Bristol, England, and
you got to specify that.
I did.
Around here, you got to specify which Bristol you're going to.
There wasn't no race cars, but there were.
Bristol, Tennessee, or
no? This was England,
North Carolina,
and there were deer on this park. They were about 8 feet tall, and they were like 32 pointers.
Be right back.
Those are called elk.
No, these were deer.
Okay.
I swear, some of them have probably been alive since King Arthur was in diapers. I mean, these things were impressive. Josh went off to book tickets to Bristol, so going to bring him back some venison. I got to tell you, I think the Queen still loves.
I need to see if there's a place up there near Pigeon Forge and Sevierville and Gatlinburg and all that sort of stuff that actually does that sort of stuff. Because I know I can get all sorts of buffalo jerky and venison jerky and stuff like that. I just don't know if they actually have real meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cutlets and things. Oh, don't know. I don't know. Never looked into it before. I'm on a mailing list for a company in England called Parker's, so I can get all kinds of British stuff. But it's got to be shipped across the ocean, packed up, totally frozen to a fare thee well, and able to survive being trucked here and delivered. And we've done it before, but the only way to make it worthwhile is to spend 2 weeks pay, and that's enough for months of two people eating high on the hog or high on the deer, as the case may be. Oh, it is.
I typed in venison up there around Sevierville. You know what popped up? Arby's restaurant.
I don't think Arby's serves venison, but I could be wrong.
Venison. No.
Now wait a minute. In Sevierville, they might, and it'd be locally harvested too.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah. Hey, it's Tennessee. Anything
Okay.
can happen.
Apparently, Aldi Market has venison. I did not know that. I've got an Aldi over here in. Let's see what this is. There's some sort of fancy.
I'll be right back.
Oh,
you can just talk about.
Yes, dear. Anyway, let's see here. That place. I don't think that. Why did Arby's pop up when I typed in venison? The beef jerky outlet. Yeah, okay, I kind of figured that one. Jerky outlet on the island. What jerky? Beef jerky outlet. There must be a lot of. They must eat a lot of beef jerky. And there's a third Arby's that has beef jerky, beef jerky, beef jerky. That don't help at all. Well. Chris Walker, is that about the venison or Aldi's? Let's see here. Aldi, yeah, we got one on 2A. There's another one somewhere up in Chattanooga. I don't know where. I think it's up there by Joe's area, up by the old Walmart, if I remember correctly. Let's see, buffalo meat. Let's see if that works. Copy. Go to darn Google Maps and type in venison for sale. It's Tennessee. You'd think we'd find a lot more venison for sale. Let's see here. Arby's keeps popping up. I know why does Arby's keep popping up?
They pay Google to
show up with venison for sale. Arby's doesn't make a deer burger, do they? Costco. It says Costco has venison. I don't think that's right.
You had to research it further than Google. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Publix. It says Publix has venison. Rusty's Meat Market. Now I may have to go by there tomorrow. That's a good one. Deer Master Processing. I've never heard of that one. That's over near Chickamauga. It's in downtown Rossville.
We got a couple of processing places around here.
It's right off McFarland Avenue. Country Chicken and Meats Incorporated. That's in downtown. That's in East Ridge. Huh.
Hey.
Meat wholesaler closed at the moment. Imagine that. Fresh Meat Market. That's on. Let's see, what street is that? That's what street is that? That's downtown. I just can't read the damn street. Main Street. That's on Main Street. Huh.
Well,
I did not know that was down there.
Well, you can go check it out. You don't have to buy anything just to check it out.
Well, actually, that one's actually farther away than the other two I was looking at. But
you can check all of them out. Make a day trip out of it. I mean, get out of the house.
You understand this day trip looks like it's about 45 miles. That ain't exactly.
That ain't a day trip.
Yeah, that's like halfway between me
and Atlanta. That's one of the
problems
of living in Ringgold. Is if you want to go up to Chattanooga, it's 16 miles. To get anywhere in Chattanooga you want to go. So if I want to go to the big shopping mall, it's like 16 miles. If I want to go downtown Chattanooga, it's 16 miles. If I want to go up to Joe's house, it's 20.
I was about to say, my wife has to travel 25 miles to work.
Well, I got to go about 10 miles between my house and work. and takes me about 15 minutes in the morning, but it takes about 45 minutes to come home that same road because it's rush hour.
Yeah, I just about to say that she hits rush hour on the way home, and it's
I've found some back roads where I can get home in about 18, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what else is really weird too? Georgia Winery. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
The name sounds familiar. Yeah,
they make their own wine. It's a pretty good winery. They came up under my search for venison for sale.
We have a local restaurant here that cooks venison, bison, and just wild game.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a place that'll sell bison. I'd like to get some buffalo steaks.
Well, if so,
every time I call them, they're out. Oh, we don't have none right now.
We got a local farmer that raises buffalo. So I mean, you drive past the field, and you're pretty much sure that this ain't your normal black Angus cow. There, you know, it's like, oh, that's the size of a Mack truck. And people are waiting for his fences to go down so they can plow into one and take one home under the roadkill law. But that never happens because he makes sure his fences are strong enough to contain them beasts. But they are huge. I mean, really huge. I wouldn't want to be walking around that field. Let me tell you. I don't care what kind of mushrooms are growing in the cow patties. You know. That's not even in my wild and misspent youth would I have crossed that fence.
Yeah, well, you taking a risk on that.
Okay, you heard about those bombings in Kabul that killed the Marines and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That apparently Al Qaeda, one of the, or ISIS, was ISK?
ISIS K. It's
well, here's where they screwed up. Apparently that bombing killed 28 Taliban members.
Yeah, it's a ISIS offshoot of Providence of Afghanistan.
Evidently, there is an American veterinarian there with what amounts to an entire plane load of pets belonging to Americans. Well, no, dogs and cats and whatnot. And he has not been able to get
whatnot covers a lot of ground in Afghanistan.
Yeah, well, I don't care if it's camels. Anyway, the guy can't get them loaded
camel
on a plane.
Spiders, you know, that's
yeah. You can't
put a leash on it and walk it down the sidewalk. It counts.
No.
You can put a leash on it, but it'll probably attack you for doing it.
No, you can't bring spiders back that walk on.
Anyway, my wife is real worried about this guy and the dogs and cats.
Let me see. ISIS takes credit for Kabul explosion that killed U.S. Marines. Taliban vows to fight evil attackers.
They wasn't it 13? It was 13 Marines and one
I got 12 U.S. military. This is from Newsweek, and it's accurate as of 7 hours ago. Was 12 U.S. military personnel, including 4 Marines, at least 60 Afghans. And if I remember, it doesn't say how many of the Taliban were killed, but apparently a suicide bomber killed a whole bunch of people. So.
Well, I had as a hour. Let me look. 13.
See. Let me go. I'm going to go to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera usually gets good stuff early in the morning. So.
Yep, they're the only ones we can count on for honest reporting.
Isn't that sad?
The last American election, yeah. Or last two American elections, actually.
I think
Al Jazeera is right on up there with the BBC as
yeah, they're
being
saying
more
13.
reputable than
it's
Fox
14.
or
It's
CNN.
13 and
I got 13 U.S. military personnel. Hello?
I'm here. Josh is frozen, but he's got some bad weather around.
Oh, there you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah, I'm back. But yeah, it was 12 Marines and 1 Navy med,
which is basically almost like Santa Maria. So
yeah.
there's a joke. There's a joke there, but I won't tell it right now because of what we're talking about.
Not appropriate for right now.
You know.
But hey, it's all Trump's fault. I'm sorry. I know this ain't supposed to be political, but
actually, it's Reagan's fault.
Yeah, I mean, we'll push it all the way back there. All right, wait. It's 11:28.
Well, if you want to get technical, every problem that we've had in the Middle East and Asia was either Britain or France.
Yep. Yeah, well, man, we can go back.
Vietnam was France's fault. Everything in the Middle East is British fault. Afghanistan is a British fault.
Yep.
We go.
This is one we can't blame on Spain.
Jimmy Carter. Y'all's good peanut farmer over there.
Yeah. Oh, I know. One of the greatest men that's ever lived. Yeah.
Hey, that was the last Democrat my granddad ever voted for.
Yeah.
While he was still alive.
Yes.
He voted for 5 others after he died.
Probably so. I mean, they need to check the rules.
Guys, I'm going to get out of here because it's late at night.
Yeah, it is. It is 12:30 Eastern time.
Some of us have to work in the morning. It ain't me, but
I'm one of them. Believe me.
Dan. Okay, there we go.
Well, I was about to say my batteries are running low. I don't think anybody would blame us if we had something less than a 7-hour program. You know. It make it easier for Brian K. Morris to top us in his next live show. So, you remember that 4-hour program we did? He did 4 hours and 5 minutes just to beat our record.
You know, we need to do something about that one night.
Well, I mean, I can sit here all night and talk to myself. I mean,
I often do, whether I'm on camera or not. I don't think we need to be worried about setting any records for anything. I mean, the longer the show goes on, the fewer people are actually going to try and watch it on a replay.
That's true.
We could do a 48-hour show and we'd only have like 3 people ever watch it that weren't here for bits and pieces of the live.
Yeah, we'll filibuster our own show.
I'll see you guys later.
Night, all right, John. You have a good night. You have a good night. Yeah. I'm kind of intrigued by this Hallowcon chili cook-off idea, but I don't think I can pack all the stuff that I would need, the crock pot and everything. It would be nice. I think I'd have to have about a year to plan it rather than a month.
I still don't need. My wife won't know when she'll be off until like 2 more weeks. So.
Well, as far as I know, Joe Dog's still got memberships going, and the hotel is not full. You just had to stay calm and pray, and hope everything goes the way you want it to.
Hopefully, she'll be off that weekend. So.
Yep, I've got to fill out some vacation forms myself. I've got to take a day off sometime in September.
Come on in, Beth. Come here.
To go get my last pair of dentures, and then
you can come in. Ain't nobody on here but Dan. All right. Love you.
Tell her I love her too.
Dan said he loved you too.
In a gentlemanly way. Respectful and that.
Respectful way.
Oh. I've still got to decide exactly how much time I need to take off for LibertyCon. I know I need to get there on the Thursday, and then check out on the Monday.
When did you say LibertyCon was?
Last weekend in October.
Okay. No, that's Hallowcon, ain't it?
Oh, LibertyCon? That's in June June, I do believe.
Okay. So that's already sold out, right?
Yeah, they filled up the memberships. Even the extra 250, they expanded it by. Now a lot of those got eaten up by people that were on the waiting list for the regular 750 memberships. But now next year, I mean after the next LibertyCon we get to go to, and they go 2022. Well, no, it will be 2022. 2023 LibertyCon. You better be right there on the money as soon as they open up the memberships, because it takes less than a half hour to sell out 1,000 memberships.
And they have that one in Chattanooga, right?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay.
It's been at oh Lord, I forget the name of the hotel now. It's one of the nice ones.
Hell, I don't care.
I miss the Choo Choo, but that'll never be a hotel again in my lifetime. No, it was fun, but they took out all the fun stuff, so there's no reason to go back unless I wanted to rent an apartment. After I retire, I might could just rent me an apartment there year round and just show up for Chattanooga conventions and go to all of them.
Biden would make you rent it out to somebody else.
I don't think he's got anything to do with it. He don't own nothing in the hotel, so.
Well, that's true.
I can't see why people blame him for the price of gas. Hell, he ain't got nothing to do with the gas company. That's the rich folks that own the gas company going, damn it, we're going to punish you for not electing Trump again.
Yep. That's OPEC.
That's all it is rich people going, oh, we don't get any other tax breaks. We're going to punish you for that.
OPEC. So.
OPEC. OPEC's the Middle East. This is the American ones.
Well, he was telling them they needed to pump out more oil.
God, they don't need to pump out shit. We can get by without them. We could get by without them if people would just turn loose. We could get by on what we got. We don't need to import a damn thing.
Shit.
The only reason we have to import oil is so that we don't have to pay Americans to work the oil fields. That's corporate. That's corporate right there.
Yep.
We actually don't need Middle East oil.
We don't need shit outside of this continent. Hell, you got Venezuela sitting down there with damn more oil than damn Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, more oil than sense, basically.
Oh,
If they could elect some politicians that weren't basically warlords for a change, they could pull themselves up from this horrible mess that
they've got themselves into.
well they didn't do it all. The man in the
Well,
street didn't do it so much as
yeah,
the politicians in power did. But
yeah, that's what I was about to.
that's you could say that same way about everywhere. I mean, seriously.
Well, same way here right now. So
Yeah. Uh, I miss the days when politician actually meant statesman rather than uh, somebody who's easy to bribe.
exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they actually just went up there and worked for 3 months and got paid eh, $20,000 and went
Oh,
home
I'm
and
I'm
actually had to work.
I'm a firm believer on putting them on minimum wage and giving them a 2-term limit and putting a big fine on them for becoming a what you call it a lobbyist
Oh yeah,
afterwards. But
it won't ever happen.
no, it won't. It won't because common sense has got no place in government.
Too much money involved.
Yeah, and it's all big corporate money. The military industrial complex. Ike warned us about that back when I was a kid. Too bad nobody listened. And and, and Reagan's trickle down shit never did work. That didn't make any sense even back then. You, you need to think of trickle up economics. If you put the money in the poor man's hand, it'll pass through it real quick, and the rich man will have it by nightfall anyway. But at least it will have passed through the poor man's hand. If you put it in the rich man's hand, nobody's ever going to see that money again. It's going to go offshore where it can't be taxed, and nobody even knows how much of it there is. And for what?
Not shit.
What is the actual benefit of being so insanely wealthy that you can't even count your money? I mean, what once you get to that point, what good does it do you? I mean, okay, you're a billionaire. You've got more money than 1,000 people can earn working full time for almost 10,000 years. What does that buy you? What does that benefit you? What do you need that costs all that? I mean, well, we see Elon, he's building rocket ships to go into space. That's expensive, but he's still got plenty left. You see Bezos, he's got Amazon, and he's not letting people take bathroom breaks or leave the work site to do anything. You got what's the other bozo?
No shit. Uh,
We'll forget that one. And then there's the British guy that
the
actually
the
worked for his, but now he's playing with it.
the shit. Richard Branson.
Branson, yeah. No, he at least had the virtue of actually working for his. He started off with damn near nothing, and now he's got way more than nothing. And
oh yeah.
I don't begrudge him for playing with it. I mean, he's not. What really pisses me off is the people in the U.S. going, "Why isn't he paying any taxes on that?" And I just look at him and go, "Because he's a British citizen. He doesn't pay taxes in the U.S. He pays plenty of taxes in England. Uh, get with the program."
That's one thing. It kills me. They talk about Texas. People don't understand fucking Texas. Number one, you can defer taxes for damn what 4 years, I think.
I don't know. I've never tried. I always try and
Well,
pay mine
well,
ahead of time and pay more than what I actually owe. That
well,
way I get a little bit back.
I know you can do it for 2 years, but legally you can do it for 2 years.
Well, it'll only be a year or two before I can apply to have my property taxes reduced because I'll be a senior citizen and won't have any children in school. So,
Oh, you'll be flying high over there then.
well, yeah, it should cut it in half, and it's gotten ridiculous. I mean, the first
Well,
year, the first year that I bought the house, I paid $375 in property taxes.
how much?
$375
Shit, you
for an acre, 1.2 acres of land and a brick house.
your shit's cheaper than mine.
Well, that was early. Now, 20, 25 years later, I'm paying almost $1,200 in property taxes, and all I ever did is mow the yard and kill some kudzu.
Now that makes more sense. But
Yeah,
I was about to say, I thought Georgia was higher than Alabama, but
no, and this county they keep the homeowner property taxes high because that's where they make the money, but they don't allow businesses to come in so that they can sell off all this land that could be making places for people to work to housing developers to put up McMansions, you know,
con,
$100,000 house that basically, if you look at it wrong, the whole damn thing will fall down because it's made out of toothpicks and
we'll throw up a
tissue paper. Yeah.
condo here and a motel here and a.
Oh no, they don't want no motels. That's a business. They don't want restaurants. They don't want stores. They don't want. The only thing that they will allow is Dollar General stores and gas stations. That's the only businesses they want. Everything else they put out of business. They've killed off I don't know how many restaurants downtown. Um, some good places too, but they just tax them out of existence basically.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it here in the city. So.
But they will rake in the property tax off of homeowners, uh, hand over fist, and they love to see somebody build a new house because that means that's another uh, $800 to $15,000, depending on how big the house is and how much land it is. If you can make $15,000 off a place that's just barely big enough for 4 people to live in, and ain't a farm,
I was about to say, if it's a farm, you're fucked.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I know. Mom and Daddy put almost 100% of our old farm into the land bank, where they get paid not to plow, not to raise anything, not to use the land. The only thing they're allowed to do is let somebody else bale hay on it.
mm, and how crazy is that?
Tell me about it. Hey, if they ever make marijuana legal down here, I got 68 acres. I'm going to plow up right that day.
No, hey, I'll come over and help you. I promise you.
And I don't really care about the money. I just want to be able to have some fun while I'm retiring. And believe me, driving a tractor is fun, depending
Oh,
on depending on what you're doing. As long as your livelihood, as long as your family being fed doesn't depend on it, it can be fun.
oh,
Now,
exactly right.
Daddy's got places set up for bird hunting. We got all kinds of deer walking across the place. Have to be careful because of how many housing developments are around it. There's only like 6 places where it would be safe to use anything other than a shotgun with slugs, or like a 30-30 that only has a 100-yard range. You can't use a 308 that's going to reach out and touch somebody 2 miles away. Uh, you know, but he had stocked the place up with quail and pheasant and all kinds of things, because that was one of the things he loved to do, is just walk around with a shotgun and go bird hunting. He
Uh,
he he'd buy a dog and train it up. That was his idea of a good time.
I was about to say, hell, that was my favorite gun was a 30-30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got a
that,
nice little Marlin that does the job. And
that was the first gun my granddaddy bought me. Hey,
you know what I am sad to see biting the dust is a 16 gauge. You can't buy shells for a 16 gauge anymore. You can't buy a 16 gauge. It goes
well,
from it goes from 20 to 12. There ain't nothing in between.
here, I'll surprise you right now.
Oh, you got old ones, but I mean you can't find a brand new one, and it's hard to find shells for it around here. I need to get a little 410 myself, just for messing around. But
Single shot. Let's see. How do I turn this camera around? Mm, I don't even know how do you do that?
you're on your cell phone.
Yeah.
There should be a loop looking button near the bottom of the screen for your image. Something that looks like a U-turn. Oh, you're gone entirely. I'm talking to myself now. No, I am definitely not a.
My bad.
That's all right. I told you to go poking around on buttons. It's not your fault you
Mm,
poked one.
it
No,
says,
I was about
says,
to say the camera reverse on a cell phone. It kind of looks like a U-turn somewhere.
says Mike, Cam, Mike, chat.
Well, I'm sorry. It sounds like a phone that's a whole lot newer than what I got.
Let's see. Because if I hit Cam, oh, here we go.
There you go.
Right.
You got it.
And my granddaddy's 16 grades. Single shot.
Well, I see a door in a corner.
Hell. I'll get this bitch out.
Oh, okay. It was in the corner.
Yeah. Damn, did you go off again?
No, I'm still seeing it.
There you go.
Your image is frozen, but yeah. Now Daddy has one. It's a Winchester Model 12. It's
Well,
a
you
it's a
won't
pump.
you won't believe what that is.
Well, you said it was a single shot 16. I'm guessing it is a break top barrel.
Yeah, single shot. Uh,
Well, we're getting down past we've only got about 7 minutes left, folks. Folk. Uh, yep. Earlier tonight, I went online shopping for a magazine for a 9mm pistol that I've had a long time. It's one of those Calico M950s. It's got a 50 round magazine on it, and the spring broke, so it won't shoot anymore. And I was really excited because the company seems to have gone back in business, and I went and checked it out. And unfortunately, a lot of people, according to the reviews, have paid them for parts, magazines, ordered rifles from them, ordered pistols from them. They've cashed the checks. It's been almost a year and nothing has been delivered. So I'm glad that I did not go ahead and hit the button to order that, since it seems like that would have been a loss of about $200 for something that I will never receive. That is a beautiful shotgun. I love. Is that a walnut stock?
yes, sir. But believe it or not, it's a Sears and Roebuck.
Oh, that is a classic. That's been in the family for a long time.
Yeah, and this one right here is a bolt.
That is a classic piece of machinery right there. I am in love.
This one right here is a bolt 12 gauge. It's got a
That's got some kick to it.
It's got a clip in it.
You know, I used to miss quail hunting a lot. Quail and pheasant. That was some of the most fun things. Take a bird dog out, walk around all day with your daddy. Just all day long.
That's one.
Just quality time right there. You might
Yeah.
not bring anything home. You might bring home some birds. You might bring home some rabbits. Never could tell. Just depending on what season it was and what was legal for you to harvest if it jumped out in front of you. But no,
But
the big thing was being in nature and walking around and learning the skills and just father and son time.
I was about to say, I mean, being with my granddad. I mean,
Yep, that's some quality time right there. Same for being out on a boat fishing. There's some quality time right there. You might not bring nothing home. You might bring home enough for Sunday dinner. It don't matter. It was being there with them and having that connection, having that that one-on-one time.
Exactly.
All right, Josh, we about
We're
3
gonna shut it
minutes
down.
away here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I got to go to work in the morning, so I'm gonna play something to get us out of here, and then hit the end credits. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I want to thank everybody that popped in to watch us, and it's just this kind of thing, just like Stupid O'Clock is just a labor of love, basically. It's not because I love to hear my voice; it's because I love to be able to talk with people. And Josh, you're one of the people I love to talk with. So, you know,
I appreciate that, brother.
you rock. You absolutely rock. All right, let me dip down here into the brand section and start playing something, and then I'm gonna close everything out. So you have a good night, and I'm gonna try and go to bed so I can get up early enough to go to work without nodding off during the first 4 hours.
Yeah, we'll go. You have a good one there, brother.
You too. You too. And everybody in the audience, whether you're live or whether you're memorettes, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being part of this. And I hope you had fun and maybe even learned a thing or two, whether you wanted to or not, because this is the kind of folks that'll teach you something whether you wanted to know it or not. So that's why I hang out with them. They're all fantastic people. But thank you very much. Good night. And here we go with another ad for the Rising Tide. And I'll try not to talk over this one because I've got to record a voiceover to put on top of this stuff where it will play without me having to be sitting here with the microphone on, and I can jump up and run to the bathroom or something like that. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.